Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm hoping that you can't hear the music from the construction crew down below, so we're just gonna have to wait and see about that. Um, so today's topic is going to be a little bit different. Number one, I've moved you around in my bedroom, so you're this way, you're looking at pictures, my dresser and plants. That's fine. This is, you know, better for me, I guess. So, I want to start this video first by saying thank you so much to my spiritual team because, again, without them, this message would not be with me, right? So thank you, spiritual team. I love and appreciate you all so much. Okay, and I also want to thank the people who like, subscribe, excuse me, watch my videos. You guys really do rock, and I appreciate it so much. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think every video I'm going to say this quote from Morgan Harper Nichols because it means a lot to me. So I think it does help other people out also. May you never forget how far you have come and the miles it took just to get to this place. So many miles, right? Oh my gosh. So many twists and turns, as I've said before, and just ups and downs and life left and right and circles and just everything, moving, unpacking, driving long distances, getting a new driver's license, right? Lots and lots of new things. And as the saying goes, in every ending, there is a new beginning. That's like hope, right? In every ending, there is a new beginning. What a lovely, lovely sentence that little sentence is, right? That's awesome. So today's topic, like as my spiritual team, they know what I like and they know what I'm interested in. So today I have a couple of videos that are going to go with this one, but this one is going to be the first video. So what we're going to talk about today is two things. We're going to talk about alignment and we're going to talk about energy. Because believe it or not, everything goes into healing yourself. Okay. We're just going to come at it at a different angle. All right. So what is energy? Energy it's imperishable, physical reality, right? It's not made of anything. Now, if that doesn't boggle your mind like it boggles mine, I don't know what will. Energy is not made of anything. It says it's an imperishable physical reality that passes between objects or systems, never losing any of its intensity or gaining either. So it's like the saying, it is what it is, right? That's what energy is. It is what it is. It's kind of like God, right? I mean, you can't see energy or God, right? But you can feel them and you can sense them because I know I can, and if I can, I would think other people can too. What else? Energy is a force. It's a might, a power, and a strength. Isn't that so true? I mean, say like, if I am projecting positivity to you, you're going to feel it, right? You're going to feel it in your senses. You might even feel it on your body, right? Just like if I was going to project negativity to you, you would feel that also. You would feel that in your senses and you would feel that in your body by the way you feel, right? Positivity Positive energy is going to make you feel joyous and happy and, like, oh, I love this day. I feel so positive, you know. And negative energy, what is going to make you feel sad and depressed, right? And lonely. And so, energy, right? Uh, okay. Okay, it says energy is neither created nor destroyed. Is that fascinating or what? So you cannot create. Energy just is. It is what it is. You cannot create it and you cannot destroy it. Now you can manipulate energy, right? You can do that for good or bad. Um, Energy doesn't disappear. It's just there. It's just there. Isn't that amazing? It says it is the law of conservation of energy. The law of conservation of energy. That's pretty neat. Energy is pure in its original form, and yet it's formless. It's invisible, just as God is invisible, like I've already said. Let's see. You can have energy can stagnate. That's why people say clean your rooms, clean your vehicles, clean your closets, because you don't want stagnant energy in your home. If you have stagnant energy in your house, the energy that's around you, you're going to feel heavy, weighed down. You might get into an argument with someone else. You're going to feel negative emotions. That's all stagnant energy. And you want to clean your spaces. Like, try not to push your furniture right up against the wall, because energy likes to flow. Okay? It wants to flow behind your dressers, behind your beds, behind your tables, cabinets, everything. Energy needs to flow wherever it wants to go. Okay? And if it can't flow, if it stops, well, wherever it stops, it's going to stagnate. Okay? So that's pretty interesting, I thought. I already knew that, anyways. Okay. So, yeah, clean out your vehicles too. They should be clean, and clean out your closets, so you can have energy moving around. So it's always, clean, positive energy. Okay. Now, scientists say energy is a capacity. I guess it is, right? It's a capacity, like a mass, right? Um, it's an ability to do something. Energy is an ability to do something, the capacity or power to do work, move an object of a given mass by the application of force. That makes sense, right? So energy is to move an object of a given mass by the application of force. Yep, that makes sense. Um, and there's other kinds of energy also, of course. There's electrical energy, mechanical energy, nuclear energy, chemical energy, and thermal energy, right? And they can be transferred from one form to another. Isn't that interesting? So if you have all those, say like you have nuclear energy, well, you can transform it to thermal energy, or you can transform it to electrical energy or mechanical energy. That's pretty fascinating, you know. So energy, I think it's what you put behind it. how it affects someone else. Say, like, we're like, for what I'm talking about here, I'm talking about energy. Energy is all around me right now. I can't see it, but I can sense it and I can feel it, right? Like the energy in my space. I cleaned my room today. I moved my table around. I have a table here, I have a table here, and I have a table here. And I have my plant that I brought in from the living room because my room is warmer. And she's a tropical plant, so she needs to be in with the heat. So, yeah, the energy in my room is clean. It can move around and it's all positive, which is how I like my energy to be, right? So, okay, now that we understand energy, right, we're going to talk about alignment. Abraham Hicks always says, get in alignment, right? And, you hear that term and maybe you don't know what that means, right? So I looked it up. Okay. So alignment is it leaves no degrees of freedom unaccounted for. Isn't that fantastic? It leaves no degrees of freedom unaccounted for. Wonderful. Why not? It's a state of agreement or harmony of oneself. So when she always says, get in alignment, get in alignment, get in alignment, she's always saying that, get in alignment, right? So when you're in alignment with yourself, right? State of agreement or harmony with oneself, to feel harmony within your psyche, right? Within your inner being, to be in harmony, right? That's got to be a wonderful feeling, I would think. And then it says, God says, we must be aligned with Him, right? Before we can be effective anywhere into anyone else. And doesn't that make sense? God is a jealous God, right? He is the center of attention, and He should be the center of attention because He created, didn't He create this whole universe, right? Otherwise, why would people worship Him, right? Why are there churches that talk about God, right? So He says, our identity is not in our families or our careers or our ministries. It says God lent us those things, but they are not who we are at our core. Now, I had no idea that was going to say that, but I know I said that in my previous video of they are not your foundation. I said, when you get to know who you are at your core, correct? But they are not who you are at your core, God says. God is. And Abraham Hicks says that God is within every single human being and probably every animal also, because, and probably every plant, because everything that is living, right, has a consciousness, right? Even plants do. Mm-hmm. And animals have souls, yes. I don't understand people who say they don't, but yes, they do. And then he says, if He is not first, He is not on our list. So of course you have to put God first, right? You have to put God first in your life to have a healthy, balanced life, right? I think that's pretty fascinating, you know. So alignment, as Abraham Hicks says, is to put God first And there's a little spark of God in each and every one of us. And I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, wow, if God is in every single one of us, talking about human beings, no wonder how God knows what's going on in our lives, right? I mean, besides our spiritual team telling him, right? Our angels that we're all, everybody has an angel, everybody has a spirit team with them, guides, everybody has ancestors, that's why we have great, 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 great grandparents, great, 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 great uncles, great, 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 great aunts, we all have ancestors that are around us all the time, guiding us, right? Um, so I just find that fascinating. I really do. So, yeah. So put God first in your life. So there is a little spark of God in every single one of us. And that's how He reads our hearts and finds out what our intentions are, right? Otherwise, how would He? How would He know? I mean, is He so enormous that He can, you know, as people would think He's up in the sky, right? And He is, you know, what, like Santa Claus, where He can, know what everybody likes. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of far fetched like that, but it does make sense if God is within each and every single human being. Um, we are His children, right? And He created us, correct? And, you know, we are all, you know, we are all Him. As if you get into philosophy and psychology, like probably philosophy, um, and study things like, or authors, I should say, like Deepak Chopra, and Michael Singer, um, who are wonderful, wonderful authors. Um, they say we are all one. And you could say that we are all one human race, right? One human being race. But the whole concept of it is that there is nobody else around you. It's just you against you, as in there was just one person on this earth, right? And then there's nobody else, there's just you, right? So it's just you versus you, um, which is a little bit hard for most people to grasp and to understand that. Um, you know, who knows whose philosophies are correct on that, you know, but they're really fascinating books to read anyways. Um, so so God is in every single one of us, right? And that's how He can read our hearts, right? Which show our intentions for other people, right? And for animals, plants, just, everything, right? So I thought that was fascinating too. So far we've talked about energy and we've talked about alignment. As Abraham Hicks says, get into alignment. Now, we understand what she means. Get into alignment within yourself so that it leaves no degrees of freedom unaccounted for. Put God first. And it also reminded me of what Mary Kay Ash from Mary Kay Cosmetics would always say: God first, family second, career third, right? So she already knew. She already knew that um, secret of putting God first. And now I want to talk about yesterday. I was in the kitchen and I was running water for something. I think I was getting dishwater ready to wash the dishes. And I channeled a song and I heard The Year of the Cat from Al Stewart. I mean, I heard the music, I heard him singing. I was singing with him. That's what it's like when I channel a song. I hear everything. Um, and so I'm not going to, you know, speak about the lyrics today. What I am going to talk about is I looked up what a cat symbolizes in spirituality. So I'm going to talk about that. The year of the cat. So cats teach us to embrace our own sensitivity, to trust our instincts and intuitive perceptions. Wow, isn't that so true? Cats are so like that, aren't they? They um, can just stare into space, but you know that they're looking at spirits that are around you, right? Like your loved ones. That's what cats can do, you know. They can live in both worlds, the spiritual world and the earth plane, all at once. Um, Also teaches us not to be afraid of exposing ourselves to the world. And I thought, wow, how appropriate is that, that song, Year of the Cat, would come to me, um, especially now that I have this YouTube channel. I thought that was really quite incredible, because I am exposing myself to the world. I'm not afraid. I was afraid like a year ago, when God said to me, Julian, I want you to start this channel. And I, already told you about it, but I told him, there's no way I can do that. There's no way I can, talk to people that I've never met. He's like, well, you probably won't ever meet them, but I want you to, start getting these messages out for me. And it took me a long time. It took me like a year and a half to convince myself that I could do that. You know, it took me, the first couple of videos I made, I drew an oracle card and I wasn't on camera. I didn't even think I could get on camera. I mean, honestly, um, because, you know, it's just being in front of the camera. I just never ever, I never take any pictures of myself. Do you know what I mean? I never thought that I took a good picture, so I never took pictures of myself. I never wanted to be in a picture if someone was taking it. I was like, nope, I'll take the picture, that way I'm not in the camera, I'm not in the photo, and, but talking to my computer is totally different because I see myself. So it's not like I am talking to people, even though I think ever since I was a child, I have always seen myself as someone who is lecturing other people on a subject, you know, and that's kind of how I feel like I am here. I'm not so much like a professor lecturing you, but hopefully doing that with a lot more compassion. Okay. That's what I hope I'm getting across to you. Um, so we talked about energy and alignment. And oh, I know what else I could tell you. Um, Sometimes when I miss my dad, I will talk. I will talk to him like he's here. And I hope I don't cry. Um, Last week I was talking to Dad, like just out loud, like, "Hey, Dad, how's it going? How you doing? What you doing? Are you happy where you are? I hope you are. I miss you and I love you." And I love my spiritual team. They're so awesome. They know me inside and out. They've been with me for 62 years. And actually, you know, I'm just going to veer off a little bit from my dream, but they have been with me ever since, my soul was created. Isn't that correct? Yeah, it is. They've been with me forever. I mean, like, we're just, here's another, like, uh, Michael Singer, you know, perspective. Let's put it that way, okay? In Deepak Chopra perspective, okay? You know, we're all souls, right? Having a human being experience. I've accepted that and I think it's fascinating, okay? Like people call our bodies like a meat sack, okay? But anyways, you know, we come down to this earth, right? To learn lessons, really, because our soul craves to evolve to a higher consciousness, right? Because, I mean, when you think about it, you know, like every now and then I'll see something on Facebook or on TV and it says, "You are here." You know, it's this little tiny speck, it's the Earth. And then you look at the solar system and Saturn and the moon and the sun is enormous, right? And Neptune and Pluto and Jupiter. And then you see, you know, Earth, and it's like the smallest planet, right? Out of the whole solar system that, you know, we can see right now, right? Because the solar system is so vast and it just goes on and on and on and on and on, right? But we are familiar with what we're familiar with, right? Which is our solar system. So, anyways, um, yeah, I forgot the point I was trying to make, but you get what I mean, right? We are, oh, okay. Yeah, I remembered. Okay. So, um, so we're souls, right? Having a human being experience because when someone dies, when they leave their human body, right? It's our soul that even nurses, some people at hospice see the soul leave, right? And it floats back up, I would think, into space, right? Or wherever God resides, right? In the spiritual realm is what I would think. And I do think that is a different dimension because, I mean, honestly, how many people have been to space, right? They've been to the moon, right? And did they see a spiritual realm up there? No, they just saw blackness, right? That is what our human eyes can detect, right? And can see. And that's what we can understand, right? I do believe our spiritual, where God and our ancestors, like my dad is, they are in another dimension. That's what I believe, anyways. But okay, so going back to my dream. So I had an understanding with my spiritual team. They knew that I wanted to see him because I said, you know, do you want to come over and make pancakes? Because if he visits me, he's out in the kitchen clanging. You know, I'll be sleeping and I'll hear this clang, clang, whatever noise. And I know that he is out in the kitchen making pancakes. I mean, seriously, I wake up to the smell of coffee and I don't drink coffee. Okay. That was the first indication that I found out it was dad, you know, in Tennessee. When I asked my guides what's going on, they said his spirit is here. So, anyways, I said, come on over. You can make pancakes if you want. You know, we'll drink some coffee and talk or whatever. And so my spirit team knew that I wanted to, you know, see him or talk to him. So I went to bed one night, just recently. And incidentally, I've been sleeping so well. Oh my gosh. I'm like, oh, go to bed, 10 o'clock, wake up at, you know, 6:45. I'm like, yay! I've been sleeping so well and not waking up at all, you know, during the night, which is fantastic. But anyways, okay, back to my dream. So anyways, in my dream, I had an agreement with my spiritual team that I can see dad, that they're going to let me see him, but he's not allowed to see me. Okay? So that was the understanding that I had between them. between, you know, like my spiritual team and myself, that he wasn't allowed to see me, but I could see him. So I went, I was in this house. It was like a Cape Cod house. It was white. And I walked over to the window, and I looked out. It was like a living room window. And I looked out and I was on the first floor and I looked outside and the grass was really like super, super green, you know? And then I looked to my right and I saw like, I want to say like 1,000 people. There were, they were all having a picnic, and there was like barbecue grill after barbecue grill after barbecue grill, all lined up in this huge line, you know, and men were standing there making, you know, like barbecue foods and whatnot, like, you know, meats and whatever. And there were all these picnic tables, just row after row after, like the row went forever, you know, and then there was another one that went forever, and another one, and another one. And in the first row, I looked to my right at the window and I saw Dad. And he was sitting at a picnic table eating his food, you know, wasn't talking to anybody. There were people standing up talking and people sitting down at the picnic tables talking and eating, but Dad wasn't talking to anyone. And maybe my guides made it that way. I don't know. But he was eating and drinking, and I noticed that he had like a red cup, you know, like one of those red to go cups that people have at parties. And he had a red plastic plate, you know, like you have at picnics, right? And and then so I just kept looking at him. I'm like, oh my gosh, he looks so good. You know, he looked so good, but he looked like he was, I want to say 25 or 26. And I think I remember someone showed me a picture of him a long time ago when he was younger, and he's so handsome, you know. Anyways, that's the way he looked. And I got thinking about it, and I was like, oh, I wonder why he's so young looking. And I think it's because he's filled with God's light, right? It makes someone look really, really young. And that just made so much sense to me, you know, when you pass over and you're just immediately filled with God's light, right? Because you're getting ready to, you know, be a light being again, unless you're going to be reincarnated, right? Back to earth to learn more life lessons, you know. That's a whole nother subject to talk about. But anyways, so he's sitting at his at the picnic table, right? And there's the picnic table, like I said, there was so many of them, right? And he's sitting there eating. And then so I'm looking at him to my right, right? And then he kind of like turns like this, and he puts his leg over the picnic table seat, so like he's like straddling, you know, the seat, and he looks my way, right? And he's looking down this way, and say like if he's looking this way, I'm over here looking back this way, right? So I'm looking to the right to see him, he's looking to the left, and it looked like he was looking right down where I was. And then I was thinking, oh gosh, I hope he doesn't see me, you know, because that's not the agreement, right? And so he gets up with his cup and his plate, and he starts walking towards, well, I thought he was walking towards the house that I was in. And I was like, and he just kept staring this way, you know, and I was like, I remember I took a step back from the window so he couldn't see me, right? And then I went back to the window and I looked to the right again and I saw him walking. And then he walked, um, well, if he was walking left, and then he took another left hand turn and walked, you know, out of my sight. And the feeling that I got is he's either getting more food or throwing away his plate and cup. And then I was sleeping, you know, in my bed, and a couple hours I woke up in the morning, and I was like, oh my gosh, I saw Dad last night. How awesome is that? He looked so well, young, handsome, and he looked really good. So, yep, I'm pretty happy. I wonder where he's off to now. Is he going to come back to Earth? You know, as most people do, most people are reincarnated. We're not ever, there's not ever new souls, right? We're all just, we all just reincarnate. Like this life that I'm living right now, I'm a woman. My next life, I might be a man. Isn't that so fascinating? I think that's pretty interesting. Um, but yeah, I guess that's my video today. I'm going to leave it at seeing my dad in heaven. And he looked really good. He was wearing his jeans and a plaid um, button up plaid shirt that he always wore. And he was much younger. So he's doing well. So that made my heart happy. So this is the end of this first video in this series. I want to say thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, you are loved and I love you. Bye-bye.